The Battle of Fort Stephenson was an American victory during the War of 1812. Background: after failing to defeat American forces in the siege of Fort Meigs, the British under Henry Proctor withdrew. Proctor attempted to take Fort Meigs again in July by staging a mock battle to lure the defenders out of the fort. The ploy failed, and Proctor abandoned the idea of taking the fort. The British and Indian force moved on to capture an American supply base on the Sandusky River guarded by Fort Stephenson. The fort was commanded by Major George Crowan with a garrison of 160 U.S. regulars under his command. William Henry Harrison, the U.S. commander of the Northwest frontier, believed Proctor's force to be larger than it was and ordered Crowan to destroy the fort and withdraw. Crowan insisted that he could hold the fort and stayed. Harrison agreed to let Crowan stay, but still fearing the worst, he moved all available forces 10 miles away from Fort Stephenson. Battle. Expecting Harrison to be moving to Fort Stephenson's aid, Proctor had no intentions of conducting a siege as he had at Fort Meigs. The British artillery and gunboats began shelling the fort, but with little effect. On August 2, Proctor ordered an infantry assault. Crowan ordered the defenders to hold fire until the attackers were within close range. Once within range, the garrison opened fire along with the fort's artillery. The attack fell back, and Proctor tried and failed several more times. Lacking scaling ladders, Proctor finally realized that the attackers could do very little against the fort. Proctor called off the attack, and the Indians returned to the field late at night to carry away the wounded. 5 currently active units of the regular army perpetuate the lineages of the old 17th and 24th Infantry Regiments, both of which had elements that were engaged at Fort Stephenson. Results: the battle had been a victory for the Americans. George Crowan emerged from the battle as a hero and was promoted to lieutenant colonel. Both Proctor and Harrison suffered criticism for their parts in the battle. The British as well as Tecumseh were growing increasingly aware of Proctor's shortcomings. Harrison was criticized for not making a wholehearted effort to come to the fort's aid. Yet, the British had been defeated, and Proctor withdrew to Canada. In the following months, the Americans won decisive victories at the battles of Lake Erie and the Thames.